Hey guys, it's me again. This is another update on the 1964 Dodge Custom 880. Today we're going to be replacing the rear shock absorbers. I think the rear shock absorbers are bottoming out sometimes on some certain bumps. So I have my trusty service manual here, and it'll give us all the torque specs and such. So the replacement of the shock absorbers should be pretty straightforward. Should apply to most vehicles that you have, but really I'm just making this so it specifies in Dodges and Chryslers and maybe Imperials, probably in the 60s era. Yeah, so make sure to chalk off your front tires if you're working on a hill or a slope. I did that on the driver's side as well. This is the passenger side, by the way. We're gonna start jacking up the car from both sides, right and left, since we practically need the entire rear end of the rear shock absorbers completely suspended. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, which you're probably working on a resto mod or something like that, but I don't trust the integrity or the structural integrity of my car's frame, so I'm gonna be supporting it by a jack stand with a jack side by side, and then I'm gonna go grab another jack and do the same on the other side as this setup right here. So as you guys can see, we're underneath the car, and this is the shock absorber we're going to be changing. Before you start removing nuts and bolts, you might want to apply a large amount or large quantity of PB Blaster or any rust loosening, some kind of a solvent. Now, in my case, the nuts down here on the bottom shock absorber mount area is severely rusted. Try a cheater bar. Yes, a cheater bar might work. So I got a cheater bar ready, and we're gonna try giving it a try, or we're gonna try wrenching on it to see if we're really going to need a impact or not. We'll see. This is a 3/4 socket, by the way. It applies to the top shock absorber mount as well. Finally. So yeah, surprisingly I got the bottom nut out, as you see there. Now we're going to start on the top, and I'll update you guys once all the nuts are out. Now, here's the good news and the bad news. Good news is, thank you, door, I got the nuts out of the both shock absorbers, both bottom and top, on both of the shock absorbers. But the issue was that first time I used the breaker bar or the cheater bar, that was the only time I could use it. All the other ones were just monstrously tight and they were rusted over. So I had to result in using a impact to get them off. Bless your soul if you don't have an impact and you only have a cheater bar. Now to remove the shock absorber from its mounting site is you're going to need this high-tech state-of-the-art tool called a mini sledge, and you're going to start smacking at it behind right here, just right underneath and right behind the coil spring. Yep, it's moving. I'll update you guys once I get it out. Now, before I install the new shock, I'm just gonna compare the old shock, well, and the new shock. And I did a comparison of the integrity of the old shock versus the new shock, and I cannot compress the new shock. Meanwhile, really, I was laughing when I got the shock off and started. When I got off the old shock and tested it for compression and such, it had no damping action whatsoever. So this shock was, for the lack of a better word, overdue for service. It's gonna look a bit choppy, but one moment. Look at this. Hold on, I'm gonna remove my shoes. Look at this. I'm gonna be holding with my feet. Look at that. I just pulled that up. Damn! I just pulled the shock up. That's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to go up on its own. But it should now be the same size as the new one. Actually, the old one's slightly longer. But, and look at this. The spring on this over here is touching this backing plate. This one is touching the backing plate also on the new one. This one is touching it on one side and not touching it on the other side. Oh no, this is just so worn out. I couldn't just believe my eyes when I saw it and felt the shock. I mean, watch this. Ready?
Oh, hell no!
One thing I like to say about this shock is thank you for continuing your service for over 50 years, even though you are practically worn out. So like everyone says, out with the old and in with the new. Ah yes, another thing I forgot to mention is you want to keep in mind of how the shock absorber came out. Like, let's see, this little dust boot cover you see right here is supposed to be on the top end, sort of like the new one here. You see that? My shock absorber was in the car like that. This is the top, that's the bottom. You know, that's where the bottom hub wheel assembly is and such. You want to keep track of where the top and bottom is really. So yeah, the dust boot cover was around the top here, but it shifted down because the coil moved. But yes, the dust boot cover closest to the top is going to be the orientation, or the correct orientation of how the shock goes into your car. Now, before you install your new shock absorber, you're going to want to get some, let's see here, some silicone grease. The silicone grease, you're going to be, let's see if I can get this up in one hand. One moment. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Silicone grease kind of looks like that. It's like a white paste or clear paste almost. You're going to need to put that in these areas right here because that's where the shaft is going to be sliding on in the suspension system. I'll show you right now what I mean by sliding on the shaft. Alright, I was able to get some light down here. And this is the shaft I'm talking about. You're going to need to put silicone grease on that rubber grommet on that new shock back there. So that the contact of the metal on here won't be it won't have a lot of friction as the shock is sliding around and moving around. Usually if it's moving around that's kind of bad, but yeah, you get the point. As long as you have silicone grease and you slide the shock absorber on here, it'll be gravy. Also, I forgot, grab yourself some, preferably something rough, like sandpaper, like 80 grit that I have here. And you're gonna need some paper towels and clean off, clean off the area where the shock absorber is going to be going on, because if that's rough, it's going to scuff the inside diameter of the shock absorber that's going to be going on. So take your sandpaper and wrap it around, and be careful not to get some of the threads here because they get scuffed as well. There you go. And that ever so slightly looks better. You want to do that for the top also. The top is right, there you go. The top is right there. You're gonna need to clean that off also with sandpaper and paper towels. The paper towels is just so that you don't have any sand or grittiness to the finished product. There we go. All right, now it is ready to accept the new shock absorber. So right now I'm going to be installing the shock on the left driver's side rear with the, of course, the dust boot facing upwards. Remember that. Or just remember how the shock came out of your car. That's all you need, really. All right, and it's sliding on thanks to silicone grease. There we go. Now the bottom one. Okay, a little bit of an issue here is I don't have enough space right here, so I'm gonna need to jack the car up just a little bit to actually. Car probably needs to come down a bit. Yeah, that's strange, but yes, okay. I'll update you soon once the shock absorber, or when I can get the shock absorber in. All right. Oh, that was a lot of work than I anticipated. Seriously. Okay. Whew. All right. I just need to breathe here for a second. I got the shock absorber in here. All I need to do is just get the nut at the top in and the bottom in, and then we're golden. Now, you might want to check with the part that you ordered, because there's a chance that they're not going to have enough, or your shock set is not going to have enough fasteners to get both of the shocks into the car, because when I ordered a set of shocks, I only got 2 bolts. This is a bolt right here. This is a cup washer. So this is the thing that fits right over the bushing, like right here. So now I have the issue where I only have 2 of these. So it's gonna go on like one of the shocks, and then the other shock is not going to have any fasteners that I could use. So for now, I think I'm just gonna put the stock fasteners back on, or the nuts back on with their individual own cup washers, rather than using these newer ones. The part number for the shocks I ordered it's going to be a Monroe 58496 shock absorber. So just keep that in mind. So as my manual states over here, your tightening specs, if you have a torque wrench or anything like that, is going to be 60 foot-pounds. Tighten the upper and lower stud nuts to 60 foot-pounds. There you go. So as you guys can see, the new shock absorber is in, and the car sits slightly higher actually. And don't forget to torque down the top nut and the bottom nut to 60 foot-pounds on both sides also. So yeah, so you guys get the basic idea. I wouldn't really call this a full-on guide, but I would call it a rough guide on 64 Mopars, technically 60s era land yacht type Imperials, Chryslers, and whatnot. So yeah, I hope that I hope there was enough information out there that you can probably use. I mean, this was my first time replacing the shocks on the car, so this was a new experience for me. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and watch more videos on my Dodge. Thanks.